video, we're going to go over the last example in lesson 7.4, where we're going to solve for some variables. This is example 3. I'm going to combine similar triangles that we did in example 1 with the geometric mean of example 2. So the first thing I want to do is line up the 3 different triangles. So I'm going to do the biggest triangle, long side, short side, hypotenuse. So short is the y, long has nothing, and the hypotenuse is 60. Okay, then I'm going to go to the middle triangle. So short, remember what we talked about in the very first video, that interior line, that is the short side of the middle triangle, but the long side of the smaller. So it's like opposite. The smallest triangle, it's the longest side, but the middle triangle, it's the shortest. And it's going to really help us set these up when all the sides kind of look the same. Okay, so here I am with my middle triangle. This will be the longer, and then my hypotenuse. So here's the 90. I don't know the hypotenuse. And this side then would be 40. And this is x. So then going to my smallest triangle, that's the longest part of my smaller triangle, x. And then the short side, which is right here. So if the whole line is 60 and I've got 40, that makes this part 20. And the hypotenuse, which is y. Okay, all 3 triangles are similar. And once I've got them, once I've got them set up, like in a horizontal row, then I can just start matching up sides. And it's kind of cool what happens. So let's do the x's first. Okay. So if you'll notice, these two both contain the x. So these are the 2 triangles that I'm going to compare. Okay. So I'm going to set up my ratio like we did in the previous lessons. First triangle, set it up however you want. I'm just going to go x over 40. Second triangle, I have to follow the exact same path. So I did the short side, so I have to do the short side of 20 over x. Cross multiply. That gives me x squared. 40 times 20. And to solve for x, I'm going to have to take the square root. So what I'm doing is I'm multiplying the 2 numbers and taking the square root, which is also known as the geometric mean. So let me type that in the calculator really quick. Square root of, and it's 28.3. Right, so just looking back again one more time, I find the 2 triangles that have the same variable. So I did the x and the x. I couldn't do anything with the hypotenuse because this hypotenuse is y and the other hypotenuse doesn't have anything to it. So I find the two variables that are the same, and then I multiplied the numbers and take the square root. Geometric mean. Right. So I'm going to go ahead and plug x in, 28.3, right here. And the reason I'm choosing that triangle is because next I'm going to do y. And I notice that the hypotenuse here is y. So I'm going to use this triangle and the first triangle. Now I'm going to do the shortcut that it's the geometric mean. So the two variables that are the same, y and y, is the geometric mean of the two numbers. Okay. So I guess I didn't have to fill in the 28.3, but so hypotenuse, hypotenuse, so I'm going to use the 60, leg, leg, so I'm going to use the 20. Type in the calculator. Square root of 1200 is 34.6. Okay, so if that makes good sense to you, you can go on and start in on the assignment. I'm going to run through it one more time. Okay, same type of problem. I look, I see three different triangles. So I'm going to separate the three. When I draw them, I always do a short and then a long side. That'll be the biggest triangle. So the short side looks like it's right here. The long side has nothing. And then the hypotenuse will be 9 plus 21. So the hypotenuse is 30, because it's the entire side. Okay, medium triangle. We're going to do a short side and the long side. Okay, the short side is that one that's inside, so it's y. Here's my right angle, so that makes 21 the long, and the hypotenuse doesn't have anything, so I don't have to write anything about it. Okay, one more. The middle is the longer part of the smallest triangle, so it's y. Short side is 9. And this time I do have a hypotenuse, which is x. Okay, so the hardest part, I think, is setting up the three triangles. Now I can do ratios. Let's do, doesn't matter, we'll do x first. So this triangle has an x, and this triangle has an x. So I'm going to do this leg, because it's my variable, over the hypotenuse. So again, first fraction, set it up however you want to. I chose leg to hypotenuse, which means I'm now going to do this leg to this hypotenuse. And what's cool about these is your diagonal, when you multiply, should always be the same variable. 30 times 9 So x squared equals 270, and take the square root. It's 16.4. So that's doing it the long way. Let's try when we solve for y, let's try using the geometric mean. Okay. So the ones that involve y are the two triangles that I want to look at. So that's this one and this one. Right? So I'm going to go the geometric mean this time. Y is equal to the number times the number and square root it. And I get 13.7. Either way works great. I personally prefer the cross multiply method because I just like to see how everything happens. But just so you know, geometric mean works every time. So you are now ready to work on your assignment.